Hey friends, hello. Welcome back to Mostly Accurate, where chaos is basically our brand and sanity is optional. I am your host as always, Monica, and I hope you're having a great week. I'm so happy that you are here joining us today. Again, I keep saying us, but it's just me. But maybe us, we're a little collective community of listeners, so I guess us does make sense. Rambling again a little bit. Anyway, I'm really excited because today we have a very special episode. We are doing our first like true crime-ish themed episode. And oh boy, I have a full buffet of it. So I'm really excited to get into this one. The first topic we're going to discuss is a Wisconsin man who decided that couples therapy was just a little bit too boring for him. And instead, he staged his own disappearance. Yep. You heard me right. So we have a faked death, a kayak, and enough planning to make James Bond look a little bit lazy. And then from there, we are going to jump online for a true crime story. I think you've heard this one. I'm sure everybody's watched this. I know it got 13.8 million views in the first week or something like that. Yes. The Unknown Number documentary on Netflix. This one's about the high school catfish. And the kicker is the mastermind isn't some mysterious stranger from the internet. Nope. It's mom. Yep, that's right. A parent running a full-time burner account operation on her own kid. So yeah, I have some feelings about that. And of course, we'll cap it off with a little classic mom moment, walking toddlers, discovering new levels of chaos, flying toys, bathtub adventures, just some stealthy pumping stories of mine for this week. But I'm really excited that you're here. So grab your coffee, maybe a helmet, and buckle up because this episode is equal parts shocking, ridiculous, laugh out loud, relatable. And yeah, I'm ready to dive into it. So let's start with the great kayaking escape. Welcome back to our regularly scheduled programming. I know last week we had an interview which was amazing. I want to do more of those. So yeah, we're gonna do more of those because I think that conversation was super meaningful and I really enjoyed it. We're gonna just get back to our regular flow of the show. And then we'll just carry on from there. So today I have a true crime reality check for you. So picture this guy from Wisconsin decides that his marriage just like isn't cutting it anymore. And instead of, doing couples therapy and working through his problems, he decides to fake his death on a kayaking trip so he can leave his wife and 3 children to be with his mistress. Yes, this story popped up this week as I was just kind of skimming through my phone and I thought I would give it a deep dive. So we're not doing too many different headlines. We're just going to kind of deep dive into what happened here because the whole thing it's pretty bizarre. So I'm just going to paint a picture for you. Meet Ryan. Okay, so this guy, he is 45 years old. He's a dad of 3, and he's from Watertown, Wisconsin. Ooh, and what I really enjoy about this week's true crime is it's all Midwest themed. Yes, we are talking Wisconsin and Michigan. I'm just really excited because these are both like super close to home. So Ryan, we're going to have to rewind because this entire story started back a year ago. So on August 11, 2024, he told his wife that he was going on a kayaking trip in Wisconsin, town called Green Lake, or maybe the city is Green Lake, or it was just a lake called Green Lake. He was going just kayaking. I guess this was like a normal thing that Ryan did. And what was weird about this trip is that, he left his ID, his phone, and his kayak floating and then just disappeared into thin air. So law enforcement found the overturned kayak. They found his life jacket. They found his tackle box. and the search began basically. So yeah, this is like some pretty serious stuff. So he's missing, and obviously his family is fearing the worst, and the authorities and the police and stuff, like everyone's taking this super seriously. Like this guy is missing, and it's just like such a strange circumstance considering like all of his belongings were like left in plain sight. Like you would think if you were to rob somebody, you would take the wallet, and like there's got to be like a reason somebody got robbed. But nope, nope. He just like laid it out very nicely and was like, this is my kayak. These are my things. I am gone now. His family is just like fearing the worst, and the police are doing everything they can to search for him. So like they were really looking for this guy. Like they deployed sonar, dive teams. They even had cadaver dogs looking, and they were just stumped at what happened. And, Ryan was basically pulling a full James Bond, pedaling a child's inflatable boat to shore and hopping on an e-bike and riding that for like 70 miles to Madison, and then eventually hopping on a plane and jetting off to the country of Georgia to be with a woman he met online. Oh my God. Like, this is like a Lifetime movie for sure. Like, I feel like this entire episode is just perfect Lifetime movie topics. But like, what were you like? Where did you find this e-bike that can go 70 miles? Because that really interests me. I didn't think they could go that far without a charge. I can just totally like picture this guy like sopping wet with his backpack and just like, ha ha ha, ha, I've gotten away with it. They'll never see me again. It's just kind of funny to me. Yeah, I guess sort of clever there, then he would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for those meddling kids. I'm such a dork. Okay. So basically, this is like a really twisted love story, right? Like he planned his own death. He also went as far as he reversed his vasectomy. And then he had acquired a $375,000 life insurance policy that he took out on himself like 7 months prior to the disappearance. So like this was planned. Ryan had been planning this for months and months and months, like because, he really wanted to be with this woman that he met online. Like 90 Day Fiance series has nothing on this guy. So he takes out the life insurance policy on himself. He clears all of his browser history. He's swapped passports and then like just ghosted his real life and hopped on a plane, all because he wanted to be with this woman that he met online. And what was really messed up is that this search for Ryan lasted 8 weeks. And the total like effort for like the scuba divers and like the sonar and like the search efforts and everything, it cost, I think at least it was $50,000 that I read. The local communities like poured countless hours into the search for him and everything. It's a really messed up situation. Not nice, Ryan. Not cute. I mean, you almost got away with it, but like you didn't. Because, let's fast forward to August 26, 2025. So this is just about a year after he pulled this stunt. He pleads no contest to obstructing an officer. The judge doesn't give him the 45 days everyone agreed upon. They doubled his jail time to 89 days. And this is basically because it's how many days he dragged out the like ghosting while everyone thought that he was dead. So that totally makes sense. He is also hit with a $30,000 restitution, which is a bill basically for the money and manpower that was wasted on the search through like what they estimated, which was more so like 50,000, but I guess they were like, you know what, just pay 30,000 back. And then guess what? His wife filed for divorce soon after. Shocker. Big shocker. Yeah, the magical kayaking escape didn't really end as romantic as he hoped. So, what what do you guys think about this? Like, I'm curious what his like online girlfriend thought. And I guess I don't understand how you can cash in on a life insurance policy. Like, who did he say he was in regard to his own self? I guess that's how you say it. So, like, if you take an insurance policy, like, how did you create a fake name and everything? And how did you get paid out on it? And wouldn't that raise like a ton of red flags if 7 months prior you take out an insurance policy on somebody and then mysteriously that person disappears? And weird enough, you're not the wife of the person that, died. I find it really interesting how he legit thought that he could get away with all of this. I guess if there's like anything that you take away from Ryan's story, it's that, escaping on an e-bike is pretty efficient. You can go pretty far. Probably not very fast, but you can go 70 miles. That is one thing. If you got to get out in a pinch and you don't want anybody to hear you, hop on an e-bike. And then also just don't fake your own death. If you just want to break up with somebody, just break up with somebody. I really don't think it's normal or, worth it to go to the extent of faking your own death to be with a woman across the country. And we'll just leave it at that. All right, welcome back. So in Wisconsin, kayak guy ghosted his wife with a fake drowning. If we ship across the lake over to Michigan, a mom decided ghosting wasn't enough. She went full on catfish mode on her own kid. Yep, buckle up on this one. I'm sure you guys have seen it. It's the Netflix documentary, Unknown Number, the high school catfish, like teens getting bombarded with like creepy, threatening text messages from random numbers. And we're not just like talking like a few text messages. Like we're talking of dozens of text messages a day in the middle of the night. Like these are intimate text messages. Like only like a person who is basically like constantly watching you would know certain things about these text messages that were coming in. So it was like super creepy. I'm sure you guys have all seen it. If you haven't, I'll just give you a brief synopsis. Young high school couple. They're super cute. They're only like 13 or 14 years old. So they were like really young when this happened. And they just started getting text messages, very explicit sexual text messages, like aggressive. And it was directed at both the girl and the boy in the relationship. Like, but I kind of feel almost like the girl Lauren got the grunt of it. And fast forward a year later, still getting text messages. And after an FBI investigation, it turns out it was her own mother. Like, what the hell? Okay. So yeah, let's talk about this, because imagine explaining that at Thanksgiving. Like, so how's school? Fine, except my mom is running a burner operation and harassing me. But, other than that, like, it's just been awkward. Like this story was, I don't know, this story just like it just made me mad. It made me sad for the daughter. And also it made me really curious to understand like what was going on through the mother's head, which I'm not sure if I still understand completely or not. It's like high school is already traumatizing enough with bad cafeteria food and pizza and puberty. And then, like the last thing you need to add is your mom harassing you from a burner phone. Therapy there just isn't optional. Like it needs to be mandatory for her. Like forget taking your kid's phone away. Like this mom was sending hundreds of texts a day, like it was her part-time job. And actually, it was her full-time job, because this crazy, we'll just call her Kendra because that's her name. This crazy Kendra was such a liar that she hadn't had a job in this entire time frame. Like, she was lying to her husband, saying that she worked for the local college for Ferris and that she was in the IT department. Well, she never had that job. Instead, she used any, bit of IT knowledge that she had to get on those phone number generating apps like WhatsApp, but like it wasn't that one. I forget what it was called. She basically just harassed her daughter all day for a year, like every single day. It blows my mind. Quit your job. Actually, I don't think she even had the job. I don't know if she was even fired from the job, but it's like, you're not working, you're not paying the mortgage, like you're basically just lying to everyone and then just like sitting really creepily on your phone, just like texting, harassing text messages because it gives you like what, like some kind of like, I don't know, like some kind of joy. Like, it's really messed up to me. And she wasn't only sending like a few text messages, she sent like 348 pages of text messages that they reviewed. Like, so 348 pages is like 17,000 text messages. But don't worry. She said like the first 2 days that, Lauren and Owen were being harassed, that wasn't her. That wasn't her at all. There's no proof. So we'll give her that. Those 2 text messages out of 17,000 really, really make a difference there. Crazy bat. Hundreds of text messages a day. Just like think about that for a second. Like, I can barely handle a group chat talking about like Taco Tuesday, let alone hundreds of text messages a day. I don't know. It blows my mind a little bit. And then like that Chloe girl, oh my gosh, I have such an ADD brain right now. But that Chloe girl, she had a crush on Owen, and it was a really good, like, I feel like it really made you feel like it could have been Chloe, just because she had mean girl energy. I feel like she did. She had her like little posse, and she did have a crush on Owen. And then when Owen started dating Lauren, it's like you have a lot of motive. Like, you have jealousy, there's high school politics and all that. So it's like, I get it. I feel like everyone expected that it was her. And I feel like she kind of had, I get why she had a nasty attitude about it, because she was trying to defend herself, but I feel like she just kind of gave off a little bit of a, like, my dad's a cop, like I can do whatever I want, or like, I don't need to talk to you about any of this. I don't know. I feel like the way that she went about it kind of just like placed a lot of suspect on her, is what I'm saying. And, good for her for being innocent. And that really sucks, because that, like, it doesn't suck that she was innocent. It sucks that, she had to go through that. But I just don't feel like the doc really portrayed her in the best light. So again, that just sucks for her. But a lot of people in this documentary weren't really portrayed in the best light either. So, and then was her name Adriana, the cousin. I felt so bad for her because she was just like such a sweet pea. And they accused her because of like the photograph, and how the only person that could have taken the photograph was somebody that was at the family gathering over Christmas or something like that. And that poor girl, oh my God, my heart went out to her, being questioned by the police, and like how much anxiety she must have had. I don't know. I just felt really bad for the cousin. So let's talk about this. Kendra. Crazy Kendra. I guess they diagnosed her with cyber Munchausen. I know you guys have heard of Munchausen syndrome, or if you haven't, there's a couple different forms of it. So the classic Munchausen, it's pretending to have a physical illness, or, I guess it's sort of like hypochondria. And then Munchausen by proxy, this is making someone else sick, often a child, for attention. So I think that's like the most common one that you hear of in these like crazy dramatic like movies and stuff. And then cyber Munchausen is using the internet, like fake accounts and fake messages and fake harassment, to create drama, to make people worry, or make yourself like play the victim. This now, I guess they're saying, is cyber Munchausen by proxy. So this is when someone fakes an illness or trauma, or or causes like victimization online to get attention or sympathy or control. So basically, she was harassing and victimizing her own daughter so that her daughter would need her more. And yeah, it's just like a whole thing. Experts say that the mom's behavior is like I said, the cyber Munchausen by proxy. Instead of making her daughter physically ill, she made her look like a victim of cyber stalking, and then she swooped in to help. Her deal with that was that she just wanted to be needed. Kendra wanted to feel like she was the only one that her daughter could turn to. And it gave her a sense of control and attention while secretly she was the one behind the abuse. Yeah, I think this mom deserves some kind of award for that commitment. That could be the award. Most dedicated internet villain. I would vote for her on that from a safe distance, probably a fake username or something. But yeah, I don't know. This whole situation was giving Black Mirror vibes. Somebody needs to call Lifetime and have them create this because the script writes itself. But oh wait, has Lifetime already created this? Yes, they have. It's actually called Mommy Meanest, and it was released last year. So if you want to go check that out, you should. I think it'd be really interesting to kind of compare and contrast how the documentary was compared to the movie. Yeah, I'm actually I haven't seen it, but I kind of really want to watch it because I want to see how they casted everyone because Kendra's a very unique looking person. Let's just reflect on this because I don't know. I think the wildest part of this betrayal was how devastating it was for the daughter to learn that the person behind all of this wasn't a stranger. It was the one person that was supposed to be protecting her. You know what I mean? How do you explain that to your friends? Yeah, the bully, she's in the minivan. I can't imagine somebody texting me constant text messages like that. It's somebody that's watching me, knowing what I'm wearing or constantly harassing and berating me. She was young, so she wasn't life experienced enough, but the typical adult, any woman in their 30s even, that is a very scary and terrifying thing to go through. She's going to need therapy. I don't know how much therapy she's going to need because right now she still loves her mom and she misses her from what I understood in the documentary, which was really very much downplayed what her mom did. And I almost feel like maybe Lauren has some type of Stockholm syndrome. I don't even know if I guess it could be a form of that because, okay, so Stockholm syndrome is a psychological response to trauma where a person is held captive or abused, develops a bond with their captor or abuser, often exhibiting positive feelings of sympathy towards them as a survival mechanism. So yeah, I guess you could attest to Lauren's response at the end of the documentary to almost that because it's not like she was developing a bond with her abuser. She already had that bond with her abuser. That abuser is her mother. She's just trying to do what a normal daughter would do. You're going to have sympathy if your mom is hurting. I understand. Yeah, you told me to kill myself and you told me that had a flat ass and you told me that I don't do enough with my boyfriend and all these disgusting things that no teenage girl should have in her head and just constantly just thrown at her every single day. And yet she's just oh, but now my mom's so sad, I got to take care of her. And then not to mention how Kendra was just love bombing the shit out of Lauren. I love you. 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 Text messages, just crazy. You made me sad today because you didn't tell me you love me back. It's such a narcissistic, weird form of just abuse. And then, Kendra tried to justify her actions by her past trauma and how she had, an essay in her past and all that. And I don't know, she wanted to protect her daughter. and she didn't want her daughter to experience the same thing. And what she was trying to do is control the outcome of her daughter's future. Like, I don't know. This one's just difficult because my gosh, there's some people that are just so like lost and messed up in their head. But like 9 times out of 10, the reason behind it is past traumas. And obviously, Kendra did not deal with her past trauma. Well, she definitely passed that right on to her daughter, which is like totally sad. And it just like, it makes me feel bad for Lauren. And I feel like as an adult, as she grows into an adult, it's going to be really difficult for her to get through this. Especially now that the documentary is out. I really kind of hope Lauren moves out of Michigan and just kind of like starts over somewhere else. But yeah, Kendra, you're probably like one of the most hated people on the internet. Like, good morning to everyone except Kendra. We don't like you. So yeah, between, Wisconsin kayaking dad and Michigan catfish mom, I think I'll stick with my own version of chaos with, snack bribes, tantrums, and arguing with my baby about putting on socks. So I don't know, Midwest, I don't know. Why don't we stay out of the news for a little bit? Why don't we chill? Why don't we go talk about our issues? Open communication. I think that's what was lacking. And not that it was lacking in Kendra's story, but just, why don't we talk about our problems before they escalate into dive team search parties and burner phone sting operations. All right, guys, welcome to Mom Moments. Yeah, I feel like I've officially reached a new level of WTF ever since the baby started walking. And he did start walking last week, which it was like his first steps were last week. And it was super exciting. Like, it wasn't like walking full on, but he took his first steps. And it was super special that I got to be there for it because I was always so worried that it was going to happen while he was at daycare. And then I would miss out on that special moment because I'm always just scared I'm going to miss out on the cool things when I'm at work or I don't know. That's usually where I'm at. But I got to see it. So I'm just super happy about that. But yeah, so now he's got to combine both of his favorite things, which is throwing things and walking. I feel like I've just been training for some like weird sport that I never heard of, just like maybe call it maybe like dodgeball. Maybe that's what dodgeball trained us for back in the day. Because basically I'm just ducking constantly with things flying at my head. But yeah, I have not lost my voice yet from saying no a million times or don't do that, but it's all good, We're surviving. I'm basically like a ninja with a coffee cup now. So survival skills 100, dignity 0. It's been a week. It's definitely been a week. It's like dodging any type of toy flying at me. It's like I feel like I'm in the Matrix, except with like spit up on my shirt, and there's like no cool soundtrack in the background. But that's okay. Yeah. Speaking of him throwing things and walking. So like now it's like a superpower, like shot put or whatever that thing is where you throw the ball. Like he would be so good at that. Like he's freaky strong. Like he would be great at that game. When he can like balance a little bit better. But yes, this week he took his favorite toy, the remote to the TV. I would say the Roku remote, but it keeps activating the TV because we're in the same room as where the remote is. But yeah, he took that and he threw it in the bathtub this week. So that was fun. I was getting his bath ready and he was so excited that I was getting his bath ready. So grabbed his remote and he proudly just like walked it down the hallway. Mind you, I did not see this happening. I thought he had a bath toy in his hand. So it's like I'm running the water. I turn to grab his towel and I hear something get thrown in the tub. And it didn't really like register to me that it was the remote to the TV for like, I don't know, at least like 5 seconds until I was like, oh shit. So like I scooped that out. It broke. Yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work at all. So I had high hopes that overnight it would dry out and it did not. So we were going to order a new one, but then I was like, I don't know, maybe it just needs more time to dry out. So then I got home from work that day and then like I don't know, I shook it around and like blew on it like a Sega Genesis cartridge game and it worked. It just started charging. So, yay, win. Yeah, I guess we saved the day there and, we still have the remote and we never had to buy a new one. So, yeah, that's a win for sure. What's the other thing he's been doing this week? Putting his fingers into drawers. Yes. Now that he's walking, it's like he's balancing, he's getting more confident, but he's opening and shutting, opening and shutting. And I'm like, stop opening and shutting the drawers. That was just like the other morning, you guys. You ever have those like chaotic mornings when you're like, I don't even know how I made it out of the house today? Like the other day, good Lord. The whole day was just chaotic. Same thing. It's just like he woke up early. He wants to get out of the crib, which is like totally fine. I'm still not done getting ready for the day. You know, now the Roku remote is not. Oh, I just triggered the TV. So that's not working. And then I have to run into the bedroom. I have to go get the Fire Stick. I got to plug the Fire Stick in so we can have Miss Rachel to play before work. And otherwise, he's going to lose his ever loving mind. So Miss Rachel's on, and then he walks through the kitchen and he starts opening and shutting all the drawers. And then he slams his finger in the drawers. I'm still not ready. I have no lunch packed. It's like chaos. We have to leave in like 2 minutes at that point. He's crying because he barely tapped his finger. I have not baby proofed anything. Like, I feel like I should really do that soon. If you guys have any baby proofing, like cabinet stuff that you suggest, please let me know. That would be really helpful. I think that's like what we need is just for like the cabinets, like the kitchen cabinets. But so yeah. So he is losing his mind. I'm losing my mind. I lost it at that point. And yeah, it was just a chaotic morning. And then we get to daycare, everything's fine. And he's just like super sad because he doesn't want to leave mama because he hurt his finger. But that's fine. Everything's good. Fast forward, I'm at work. And at that point, I was just like, I need a pump. I think it was like at 2 o'clock or something in the afternoon. I was like, I really need a pump. It's kind of like a weird day, but whatever, that's like aside from the point. So I'm pumping and I'm minding my own business and I notice that I leaked through the pump. Like, so I must have not had the like flange or the suction, the grippy thing on all the way. I have no idea what happened. Or I just moved funny, but so I leaked through my shirt and then there's like, like the boss people from different locations that came and I'm just like, so now I have breast milk on my shirt. So luckily I had like a sweater and I just like hid myself under the sweater. My breast milk stained. But yeah, I could not get out of there quick enough that day. It was just a day. It was a week. It was an exciting week, but it's just like I feel like we have leveled up. We've entered a new level of chaos and I just gotta learn to live with it, between dodging flying toys, surviving bath tornadoes, salvaging electronics, hiding breast milk leaks at work, and developing some new, reflex training skills. Motherhood is basically like some weird edition of Survivor, I would say. I'm pretty sure some days it feels like my baby is auditioning for Fast and Furious, living room drift, and I'm just collateral damage. It's fun. It's gotten really fun. I'm just really happy to be here in this stage, this walking these first steps, this first like week of learning new skills. I think it's been good. And if there's one thing that we always need to remember, we got to like laugh through the chaos, and if you need to cry, just do it in the pantry. It's fair game. But I'm just so happy that you guys got to check in this week. I'm happy that you were here. I hope you enjoyed our little true crime episode. Let's do this again next week. I'm going to try and line up another guest episode. If there's anything that you guys would like to hear, if anything, that you really enjoyed or you didn't enjoy, please let me know because as much as I'm doing this show for me, I'm doing it for you guys because I love my listeners and it gives me purpose, and this is something that makes me really happy, and I just want you guys to enjoy it as much as I do, and we'll just keep building the show even better and better. You can follow me on Instagram at Mostly Accurate Podcast, on YouTube, Mostly Accurate Podcast. I do have a Buy Me a Coffee link set up if you like what you hear and you want to help support. It's buymeacoffee/mostly accurate. And yeah, like, follow, subscribe. I can't wait to talk to you again next week. Thanks so much. Okay, love you. Bye. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The facts are fuzzy. Our stories and opinions are just that, stories and opinions, not meant to be taken as professional advice.